Good afternoon and welcome to this week's Meaningful Midweek Conversation. I'm here with Paul and Maxine, and if you are new, welcome. We are three YouTubers that love to get together once a week for a good old chat about all sorts of stuff. So, I'm Lisa from A Life Full of Meaning. Paul's here from Narrowboat Life Unlocked, and Maxine from Never Too Late, Our Journey. But today we're just showing up for a good old chat about friendship. Yeah, I want to explore this in more detail about what friends bring to our lives, what value we place on our friendships, and all sorts of things. Let's unpack it and see where it takes us. As always, there's no perfect curated sound bites in this conversation. No, this unfolds naturally. So don't look to us for answers is basically what I'm saying. Before we start talking about that, let's catch up. We didn't chat last week, did we?
No.
Maxine, you were moving house, weren't you? So let's come to you and find out how the last couple of weeks have been.
Well, it's been very hectic, but we've managed to box everything up, and we have moved from our house into a rented cottage for, well, we thought 3 weeks. It's going to be 4 weeks now because the boat's not quite ready, but she's coming on a treat. So we move on her onto the 4th of March. So we're just in a cottage at the moment in the Peak District, enjoying ourselves, doing lots of walking and visiting the boat and having friends over. So we're chilling at the moment.
That's not a bad way to be.
No, it's nice.
That's not a bad way to be. How was the actual move, like moving day? Did it all go?
Yeah, we've done it in stages. I mean, we've still got like a lock-up, so we're keeping everything in there. It was a bit hectic with it was mainly food boxes because we've bought those and clothes. We have brought everything over that we wanted to keep, and we've now done another declutter and taken a load more stuff to the charity shop because we keep realising we've still got too many clothes to go on this boat.
It's clothes, isn't it? Where do they all come from? Where do they all come from? I don't know. Thanks, Maxine, for that. 1 second, Paul, before we come to you. Yeah. I've got Leo here today. And I think it was just like creeping around. So I think he's going up to the toilet. So I think he was creeping around. No need, Leo. No need. No. Anyway, Paul, what have you been up to?
I'm glad you said that was Leo in the background. It looked like a ghost in a film just over his shoulder.
I was like, what's he doing? But anyway, Paul.
We've been living on the high seas, or it's felt like that because it's been very stormy, hasn't it? And the boat's been rocking about, and the water levels have been changing. But apart from that, we're still loving being on the boat, and we've been exploring the local area. And we went out last week to Stump Cross Caverns in Yorkshire. Yeah. And it was great. We've been to loads of caves before, but normally you're guided round, aren't you? But these caves, they allowed you to walk round on your own.
Really? And where was that?
At Stump Cross Caverns, which is just north of Skipton. It's about an hour from where we are, but the scenery up that way was stunning.
Wow. That is fabulous. 1 second, I'm just going to ask Leo to turn his headphones down. Just a tiny bit, darling. Just a tiny bit. Yeah, perfect. That sounds fabulous, doesn't it? I love that.
Good.
That sounds good. I haven't been up to much. Not at all. I'm thinking about it. I had a small meltdown Saturday night, and I opened my emails. I don't often open my emails because it has this sort of effect on me. Within about 3 minutes flat, I felt completely overwhelmed by my digital life. Yeah. There was I had messages everywhere, which I've not looked at because every time I look at them, I feel overwhelmed. And honestly, within a couple of minutes, I was like, I can't cope with this. I'm giving up vlogging. I was fine by Sunday. I just stopped looking at everything again. But I've decided I'm tackling it in small bits at a time rather than trying to, when I say I had 7,000 emails, I'm not even exaggerating. No. It was It was bad. And Maxine, you do like inbox zero, don't you?
Yeah, I hate it when I've got lots and lots. I can't cope with it. That's the only reason, because I have to clear it all.
Really?
Well, most days I clear it out because I hate to see loads and loads in there. It sends me into a meltdown.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very jealous. I'm very jealous. And Lisa, funny enough, I felt exactly the same yesterday. Maybe it's the
Did
time of
you?
year. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Do you know what the worst thing is? I don't worry about missing important stuff in emails at all. What I worry about is that people have reached out to me who watch our videos or have taken the time to comment or to send me a message or a picture or something, and I just think it distresses me so much that I've not got back to them. But it's like how to manage that volume. So it actually brings us on to talking about friendship, because like we've got just under 3,000 subscribers. And actually, I see all the people that tune in every week who watch our vlogs. I see them as my friends. And like when I talk to the camera, I feel that I'm talking to friends. So I thought, let's unpack friendship. Let's have a look at it, and then let's see what it means. Before we do this, I've got a feeling Leo's got a question. He's just hovering by me.
Saying, the live stream, it's a bit late in talking. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Leo's watching us on the sofa, a mere 2 foot away.
In the chat,
He can text in the chat. So if we see Leo, I see him. Leo Gaynor. So this really is a multi-dimensional conversation.
It is.
Okay, we're right. So let us talk about friendship. Let's start from the very top. What does friendship mean to you? Is it important? Where is it on those sort of values of what's important in your life? Paul, you go first.
Yeah, well, this is a brilliant topic, actually, isn't it? And we were talking about how many friends we've got on Facebook and also on YouTube, and you do feel like you get to know these people personally.
Yeah.
My worry is with Facebook, you get friend requests all the time, and you think maybe they know me through such a body, so you accept. But if we ever meet these people in real life, we'll have no idea who they are.
It's really hard, isn't it? And the same with vlogging, because people feel they know you so well, and you only know a little bit. But you're right, maybe our how many friends or subscribers we've got is not the measure of real friendship.
It's weird, isn't it? And I've always been a true believer in you can choose your friends and you can't choose your family, and not that there's anything wrong with our family, our respective families, but you spend most of your time, I feel, with friends. My mum used to find this quite difficult, that we'd choose going out with friends or going for a meal with friends rather than going out for a meal with them. And, it doesn't mean we loved them any less. We just got a big circle of friends. And sometimes it's difficult to stretch yourself, especially we find Auntie works a few days in the week. I work the weekend. I find it sometimes difficult to try and fit everybody in. As an example, we went back to our old marina in the week just to visit a couple of friends, but we've got about 8 friends on that marina, but it's so difficult to see them all. During our civil partnership, we invited, and it was a bit controversial, we invited mostly friends, very few family, because I think it's almost like a wedding or a partnership. It's seen as traditional to invite all your family.
Right.
But we felt there's lots of family members that we haven't seen for years, and they haven't been to visit us in the 10 years we were in this house. And then we had friends that we would see every week and get on great with. So to us, it was more important to have friends there than a big extended family. Does that sound selfish?
No, absolutely. I've just written something down there, which we'll come back to, which is I'm wondering about generations. Have friendships changed through generations? So we'll come back to that. But no, that sounds I really identify with a lot that you've said in the fact of having, you know, a big friendship group and how do we fit them in. We'll circle back to that one, you know, in a bit as well. Thanks, Paul. Maxine, what about you?
I have quite a small friendship group.
Right.
I mean, especially going out and things like that. It's Steve and I. I mean, Steve's my husband. He's my best friend, definitely. Even though we've only been together 12 years now, I have one very, very close friend who we've been friends for 33. It must be coming up for 33 years, and she's been through everything with me, and vice versa. And and I mean, I'm very close, and I will do anything for her that I can, and she knows that she can pick up the phone, and I'm there, and the same with the other way around. I've got lots of other friends that I see as and when, but they're not my close friends. So I just it's just literally, and my mum as well. I'm very close. I go out with her a lot and things like that, or did. But that's going to obviously change now going forward, which is difficult for me. It broke last Thursday, just before we moved. I went into meltdown with it because I'm leaving her, which I've not ever done. Even though because we live so closely, and over the last few years, we've become even more close. I take her out and things like that. So it's just, I've got to learn now a different way of having that friendship. Again, with my friend who we've been friends with for 30 odd years, we don't see each other loads and loads, but we do see each other at least once a month or once every other month, and we have a catch up, and it's just adapting to everything.
Another really great point that you've touched on there, Maxine, is friendships whilst being on a boat and cruising a lot of the time. We'll come back to that one as well. Just to tell you a little bit about my friendship group. So I feel very fortunate with the friends I have. I've got a small group of close friends and a massive group of diverse friends that I've picked up as I've gone through life. And what I absolutely love about my friends, in fact, it's the best thing I love, is that they're so completely different in ages, in lifestyles, in their life views, in the way they live their lives. I love that. I just love the difference, you know, across the spectrum of friends I've got. Absolutely love it. So I've got a really wide, diverse range of friends, which I love. So let's have a look at some of the questions. Well, not questions. I think everybody's saying hello. So Louise, narrowboat changing pace. Lots of people actually from Thailand. Hi Pamela, hello Leo on the sofa over there. Maggie's listening whilst working. Lots of people. Lots of people saying hello. Joan said, my friends are my family, as I have only one family member now. Friends are wonderful. Absolutely. Deb says, you're lucky to have friends. Mine have nearly all passed away. Lucky my husband is my best friend. I'd be so lonely without him. Actually, Deb, that brings up something that we were talking about before we went live, wasn't it? So first, let's have a look at, you know, the first part of Deb's comment, which is friends passing. As you get older and your friends pass away, that must be so difficult, you know, when you've got, you know, beloved friends and who are no longer there. That must be so difficult, and something I think that we all experience as we get older. And Deb also said, my husband is my best friend. I'd be so lonely without him. So we were saying, I've just clicked on Joan as well there. I'm trigger happy with me clicking. But Deb was saying that her husband is her best friend. And I was saying, I'm really lucky because I see Glenn as my best friend, and I love doing stuff with Glenn. I love it. If I'm going somewhere, I'm like, Glenn, do you want to come? Do you want to do this? I mean, most times he goes, oh, all right, you know. You know, he's one of the people I really enjoy spending time with. So I'm lucky like that. And you were both saying you've got the same thing as well, haven't you, with your partners?
Yeah. Funny enough, today, Lisa, I spoke to Anthony on the way to work, and I wanted to go to this concert. It was Hans Zimmer. I may as well say it. I love Hans Zimmer. And the tickets were a fortune. And then I found one ticket available. And Anthony said, well, why don't you go? And I said, well, I'm not going to go on my own because I want to turn around to you and say how amazing was that? Because it's a shared experience, isn't it? And, you know, it's funny that if you can only take one person, for me, normally it would be my partner. And I think probably the same for you too, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel really fortunate in that, although the value I have in spending time with other friends. So I heard a quote the other week, and it was so true. And I just went, oh yeah. Sometimes we put off spending time with friends, and it's that sort of not the big things like the going out for meals or going to concerts, but the other day I went down to Dawn's because we're trying to learn to crochet, and just that sort of hour and a half that we sat there like trying to crochet and chatting was just so good. It was so good. Do you know what I mean? We didn't chat about anything particular. We just chatted, crocheted, drunk tea. And I heard a quote that said sometimes spending time with friends is a bit like exercise, right? Sometimes we put it off. It's like, oh, you know, like we do. But no one ever goes to the gym or goes out for a walk or exercises and then regrets doing it. We always feel better for that experience. And friendship is much the same. So sometimes we're like, oh, too busy to do that, too busy to do that. But spending time with friends, always you feel the benefit after. You always think, oh, so glad.
Yes,
so glad I did that.
And
so,
catching up with an old friend that you haven't seen for years is so good. We recently spoke to a friend who's moved to Canada, and we hadn't spoke to him for about 20 years. And we talked for about 4 hours, and it was so nice. And we just can't wait to speak to that person again. You know, it was nice sort of chatting. And that's the other thing about friends, isn't it? I think the good friends that you've got in your life, you can go a long time without seeing them through life, through, you know, general business of life. But then when you do speak to them again, it's like it was just 5 minutes ago.
I know. That's perfect. I want to talk about seeing our friends, whether, you know, what works, whether it is the fact that we see them regularly or whether we can do that. We'll come back to that. I just want to come down. Let's have a look. Little old me, my old school friend who I haven't seen for years came into the deli where I work, and after chatting for a few minutes, we then started laughing at all the silly things we got up to in school. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Shared memories, shared experiences, and shared memories. So, what's this? I will always remember you telling me that if you buy that expensive item, will it change your life? That was over 20 years ago. I always think of that. Great advice. I'm not sure.
That's someone who earlier on, Lisa, said, do you know who this is? So it's probably
I've missed loads. I pressed new message and it took me right to the bottom. So I've missed loads. I'm sorry. I'm not very good today. I'm going to blame my glasses. I can't see a thing. So Pamela says, I have a best friend from school. Known her 60 years, but I think it's harder to find new friends now I'm older. But in saying that, found a lovely new friend taking the dogs for a walk. And she's much younger than me, but we really do love each other. Oh, Pamela, that is beautiful. Yeah. There's stuff to say about friendships and aging. As we get older, are our friendships different? So when I look at how my friendships were, like say 30 years ago, I would often have one best friend, and we'd do everything together. It might have been because we both had young children at home, but we'd go shopping together, we'd go here together. We would literally spend most of the time together. And when I look now, my friendships are very different, but my life is very different. Have you found that over the years, the way you interact with friends has changed? Maxie, have you seen anything like
definitely. I mean, going back for 25, 30 years, we spend so much time because neither of us were working, or food it was different hours, and so we spent time with children and doing different things and everything like that. And then as you get older, I think the family grows and your priorities change. And so you find different, I think you change and you have different hobbies and things like that. So everything just alters. So when you do come together though, it's wonderful because you've got that memories from what you had done previously and things like that. And I think also with friendship, depending on the age of the person that you'll become friends with as well, there's a different dynamic and different way that you interact with each other as well. I think that's a big change.
Yeah, as your life, as you grow older, life changes, takes you different ways.
Yeah, so, definitely.
Yeah, Paul, have you found that friendships have changed, or the way you spend time with friends has changed over the years?
Yeah, definitely. And it's certainly changed when we moved on to the narrowboat. I mean, going right back to when I was younger and working at the holiday parks, because we were working with each other for 6 or 7 months, we became such great friends, and we thought we'd be lifelong friends. But eventually, people are scattered all over the country, and you send the odd Christmas card or send the odd message before mail, before emails. But you sort of lose touch. But then it's nice when you get to see those people. You might get invited to a special birthday, and it's really great to catch up. But I think for us, it's been different on the narrowboat. I didn't expect. I had this vision of when we bought the narrowboat that all our existing friends would come and visit us all the time, and a lot of them do. But we've also got a new circle of friends that we've met while out cruising, and we like to spend time with them as well. And I think that's because you've got a lot in common. And very quickly, before I go on too much, we've also got friends that have adopted children in the past, and then we sort of drift apart because they get a new circle of friends because they're dropping the children off at school, like you said earlier, Lisa, and, going to parties, that kind of thing. Kids. So we sort of, we're not falling out with them, but they sort of get a new circle of friends, and you sort of drift apart,
takes you in different directions. I've often thought that it's really strange how sometimes when you work with someone and you just get on so well, like you said, Paul, and you just think, you're such close friends, you work together for years, and then one of you leaves and you're like, you have every single intention of staying the best of friends. And it just almost evaporates. Now, my friend Dawn is amazing at keeping hold of friends. So she'll often say, I saw such and such the other day, and I'm like, where did you meet that? 33 years ago we worked here together. And you know what I've realized? It is the fact that she makes that happen. She's the one that will be, hey, should we do this, shall we do that? She's very good at holding on to friends. So that's something I think that I'd like to get better at. I really.
I'm not good at that.
Here's a question for you. What qualities or values do you look for in a friend? Let us know as well in the comments what you look for in a friend.
Well, it's funny you should say that, Lisa, because if you think about it, friends are just people that drift in and out of our lives, aren't they? And it's mad how you can meet people. So, for example, we watched your vlogs for about a year, and we still watch your vlogs. And every week I say, I can't believe Lisa and Glenn are now friends, and it's just such a nice feeling. And in the same way, Lisa, it's almost that thing we've talked about, fate, isn't it? That we went into Grassington for a coffee and bumped into you two, and it was so quiet. It was probably about 90 people in Grassington that day. And I can't believe we met that way. And, you know, people do drift into your lives and hopefully don't drift out again.
Yeah.
So friendship's a funny thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So are there any qualities or values that when you meet someone, you just think, I think it's an unconscious thing. I mean, I don't generally meet people and I think, oh, that ticks that ticks that. I think for me, I look for people who are authentic. I don't care if they're completely different in their views to me. I look for authenticity. I think that's the number one thing for me. Again, it's not a conscious thing, but it obviously registers deep down that good friend, authentic.
What do you feel, Maxine? I've got an answer to that.
No, I agree. I mean, I've got, say, friends, because I have a vast amount, but only a couple of really close ones. But I mean, they come from every different walk of life. And as long as we can have a good chat and we respect it, I think it's respect each other. Then I know that's it. That's all I look for.
Well, don't they say you become the average of the 4 friends you're closest to? So we look for wealthy friends.
I love that. I love your honesty there. I love your honesty.
No, we don't. I don't know. It's for me. Yeah, I mean, you just get a gut feeling, don't you? It's like it's almost that feeling. I don't want to. It sounds very impersonal, but you know when you walk into a house and you think this isn't for me. I'm gonna go look at another one. And it's the same with. I don't consciously think, oh, they're not for me. I think you have a gut feeling. I think if you can have a good laugh with someone and you can trust them, and they've got time for you. You know, we've got a lot of friends who are very caring and would do anything for you, and they're always asking how you are. My vocabulary isn't as great as yours, Lisa.
Mine isn't either.
Something I remembered while we were chatting as well. When we moved up to the boat and we had to get rid of all our things. The thing that I found difficult was all the photographs of friends. And we were only going through some the other day of all the holidays we've been on together and all the things we've done together. And it's just great, isn't it, to have that memory? I mean, we've got friends who don't take a camera on holiday, can you believe? And don't take pictures of anything because they've got all the memories up here. But I think it's nice to look back on, isn't it, on old photographs? We actually took pictures of the photographs.
Yes, we did that when we moved on board as well. And I find that those photographs trigger the memories. The photographs aren't the memories, but they trigger that. When you think, I remember we went there, we did that, we were with them. And so I think that's you know, I think that's why photographs.
They're so important.
Great. Yeah,
we take loads and loads of photos.
Yeah, I saw someone asking Leo if he was waiting for his hot chocolate.
He
is actually waiting for his hot chocolate. Thank you. We before the chat, I stocked up on mini marshmallows because we were running low. So from Thailand, Lisa, do you know who I am? I think you've been surprised. Can't believe you popped up on my YouTube. Spooky. I'm not sure.
It's your old neighbour, apparently. I saw a comment.
An old neighbour.
Something to do with the phones and Glenn.
Oh, I don't know. I've got an idea. Anyway, Pamela, I have a best friend from school, known her 60 years, but I think it's harder to find new friends. Oh, this is the one that I read earlier, wasn't it? Which brings up a great point about how easy is it to make friends. While we're just thinking about that, let me just have a look through. Oh, there's so many messages that I can barely see.
Can I just read this one out, Lisa?
Yeah. I was just going to read that one.
Oh, wow, yeah. My friends group is small. One of my best friends is my dog. Oh, how nice is that?
I was just going to read Ben's message. Well, I mean, I completely missed that when thinking about friends. I mean, not all our friends have to be humans, do they?
No.
You know, dogs and cats are well, beloved friends and also family to us, aren't they?
Oh, definitely.
You know, Deb's put, Ben, I'm glad I have my dogs in my life. So, Caitlin's put, I go places on my own, Paul. I used to do it on trips away. So I thought if I can do it when away, I can do it at home. That is.
And like yourself, Lisa, I've been to the cinema on my own. I used to have a cinema pass, and because I work from home and I basically was at home on my own in the week, and most of my friends worked in the week, I would just go to the cinema on my own. I quite enjoyed that.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I did that a couple of months ago. Do you remember?
Yes.
It felt so extravagant being in the cinema during the day.
I just like to think if anyone sees us in there on our own, it's not because we've no friends, it's because we're a film critic.
I love that.
Take a notepad and a pen.
Yeah. Here we go. This is a great value in friendship, isn't it? Trust, understanding of each other, but trust is the most important. Yeah, agree with that completely. Sometimes I've got friends who do not do things maybe in ways that I wouldn't, and actually that's them. You know, if they did something, I think, well, that's them, that's the way they would deal with that or whatever. So sometimes
sorry,
what's that?
Go on, sorry, Lisa.
I
spoke over you then.
No, I was just saying, you know, sometimes, you know, I don't want to say I accept people's failings. It's not a failing just because it's not the way I deal with something, but I just recognise that's the way they deal with stuff. Than trying to, you know, So
I agree with that, with Lisa, because I think people just live differently, and you have to just accept if that's the way they want to go with their lives, and as long as when you get together, you can be as, you know, have your good chats and have your friendship still. But when they're not with you, then you just have to let them get on with their lives, don't really?
Yeah. Can I ask you both, have you ever been wrong? Because we like to think we're a good judge of character, and I think there's only one person in our lives that we've met and thought, we don't know if we like this person, you know, they're trying too hard to like us, and then it turned out to become a really close friend. And so we're so thankful, not that we gave them a second chance, you know, so who are we to say that? But, you know, sometimes, it's weird, isn't it, how that works out in your life?
Well, I actually saw a message crop up, and I can't find it now. I'm still looking. Someone had said that they'd been wrong a few times. Did anyone else see that message? I can't find it. Leo's looking for me. He's scrolling back through, but someone had said that they'd been wrong about friendships in the past. I think we wouldn't be human if at times we didn't feel either friends had let us down. But then the other side of that coin, I think, there must be people out there that have felt that I've let them down as friends too. There must be, you know, that it can't be just one, you know, or the other. I've had some dodgy friends, I've had some dodgy friend experiences. So some that didn't end well. I have, and
I'm intrigued, Lisa.
Well, no, you know, I once lent someone some money. And we'd been friends, like really good friends. Leo's found the message. I've fallen foul of not listening to my gut feeling. Now it's a benchmark. Thank you, Leo. I don't know if I can do this next week without you. I once lent a friend some money. We'd been good friends for a long time, and then they just disappeared, right? And it wasn't a fortune. But for years after, I thought, was that sum of money the value of that friendship?
Yeah.
And then I think, well, they obviously had their reasons. There was obviously, more to that than, but, and yeah, I've had dodgy friend experiences where you just end up thinking, something's not right. Something's, not right. But I think I'm quite happy to accept the friend, like that's them, that's how they deal with stuff, that's them, and that's okay. They can be them, I can be me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't, but your gut feeling, I think, for friendships, but sometimes it is worth persevering, as you said, Paul. June's put, best friends are your family. I think for us, we've got massive trust. We're family. We look up after each other. But then I think, would I like to go on holiday with all my family? They're all great in and I've been on holiday with them all, but it's like, I think I need a good friend-family balance. So, yeah. Pamela, let's see what Pamela's saying. Let's have a look. How funny, Paul. There was a lady in the pub and we both didn't like each other, but not knowingly why. We garden even spoke. Maybe we hardly spoke. Years later, we met at a baby club with our grandchildren and still friends to this day. Well, that just goes to say what you were saying, Paul, about sometimes you think, no, not my sort of people. And then, guess what? They are. So, I'm
sure Maxine thought that when she saw us in Grassington. Hide, Steve, hide.
Head down, keep walking.
I think my parents thought we'd been kidnapped, didn't we? We were sat hours for chatting away.
I think we went out of car park, didn't we? Car park time.
June has put, my best friend years ago stole off me out of my house. We never spoke again. And after that, hence my family is my best friend.
That's sad.
I'd forgotten this experience until you just put that, June. But years ago, a friend stole off me. I lost my purse while they were visiting, and literally turned that house upside down. Now, 20, maybe even 25 years later, I met up with that friend. And I'd written it off. We'd not spoken sort of since that day, but we were on the boat and I was in that area and I'd reached out and said, hey, come see us. Not even thinking about that. And you know what? The first thing she said to me when she came into the boat, she sat down, she said, I want to really apologize. I was in a really bad place at that time, and I was like, honestly, I'd not even remembered. It's not like I'd written it off. It's like I didn't even remember it. It was just interesting. And I'm so glad that we had that chance to meet because she, her circumstances, at that time, she did that. And then we got an opportunity to revisit that and to address it, and it was really quite emotional for both of us for that.
It's a very honest thing to do, isn't it? It takes a lot of
very brave.
Absolutely courageous. So I just want to go back to being on a boat and friendships. So Ben had put, I think he's been, on his own with his dog. I think he said it was like 5 months. It's difficult sometimes when cruising to keep, not to keep friendships. That's not right. Because actually, as we all know, the boating community is a very welcoming, inclusive community on the cut, in the majority of times. I'll often find people, when we're out on the boat, and we could talk for hours, like hours. And I think maybe that's that isolation. If someone hasn't spoken to someone for even a couple of days, when you meet someone, you chat. And the great thing is, I find, about being on a boat is that your paths may cross with people, you know, several times as you're sort of traveling the network, but it can be lonely. And Paul, how have you found being out and maintaining friendships?
Yeah, I did worry about this, and a lot of people in the marina when we were going out for the first time were worried that I would be working from the boat while Anthony was at work, and I'd find that really lonely. But I didn't. I think we all like spending time on our own as well as you know, and then I think you appreciate more the people that you've got in your life, don't you, when you have spent that time on your own. I just kept myself busy doing editing and doing my art. But yeah, I suppose it could be very lonely. It's nice to get off the boat. I found it sometimes, I probably did find it difficult where if we were in one place for an extended length of time and didn't get to see friends for maybe a couple of weeks, I would walk up to the coffee shop and I'd feel quite lonely sat in the coffee shop reading a book, and I'm thinking, why am I doing this? I could be back on a boat drinking coffee and reading a book with no one looking at me thinking, why is he on his own? But I didn't, to be honest, I think I enjoyed having that time to myself.
I think it's about choice, isn't it? When you feel that you know, that sort of peace and quiet, if you like, can feel like such a luxury. But when you know you feel lonely or just in need of being around people or you know, a good chat, then you know, it can feel really lonely.
And what about you, Maxine? I mean, will you still be working, the two of you? Are you going to be working from the boat? Steve's retired, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's retired, and there's no chance he's doing any work. But no, I'm going to work part-time. I don't work full-time anyway. And I've got quite a few projects in my head that I want to still do. I was just thinking, but obviously because of technology now, we can like do FaceTime and things like that. And that's what I've said to my friends, you know, which we will do, because she keeps saying, you know, we won't see each other very often. I said, well, no, not physically, but we can do FaceTime. And I said, and then obviously we'll still go up to where we used to live and things like that, see parents, but my parents will come to us as well. So I think it'll make me make more of an effort than I used to when I was living in the same town, because I don't want to lose that friendship.
That's a great thing about technology, isn't it? It's sort of like a virtual visit.
That's it.
I mean, we had friends turn up as a surprise for my birthday, and it was just a brilliant weekend. You know, we got to see so many friends. So it's nice, really.
I think for me, friends definitely make my life richer. What I stress about, no, let's not say stress. What I'm conscious about is how to do those relationships justice. I don't even want to say the words whilst living a busy life, because I hate those words, right? Let's just put while living life fully, right? So how do I do those relationships justice whilst, you know, doing a load of other things? And it makes me wonder whether I need to, no, maybe I don't need to, or maybe it's already a given understanding of what we each expect from a relationship, from a friendship. So, for example, if I've got a friend who's like, Lisa never rings me, Lisa, we never go out, and that's what they want from that friendship, and I'm showing up and offering something completely different. Maybe there's a conversation to be had with our friends, especially as our lives change, of how, you know, how to grow that friendship, or at least to keep it healthy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Leo's bringing
I mean, I worry because I've not got a vehicle that I can't go and visit my friends. They've always got to come and visit me, and I think, will they get fed up of that? But And when I do my meditations, I've not been doing my meditations as much as I should, but when I do, and the ones that say, what are you thankful for? It's always, my partner, a roof over our head, our lifestyle, family and friends. And we've got amazing friends.
Yeah.
And I think, it's great, isn't it? What would we do without friends?
Yeah.
Yeah. A very sad world, wouldn't it?
So we've got one of Steve's friends he's had for, I think they've been friends for 40 odd years, have come over today because just to have a catch up and everything. So, and I know that they'll carry on doing that when we're on the boat, which is lovely. Yeah. It's very important.
Yeah.
I sometimes wonder whether having reasons to connect. So, for example, Paul, you've talked about your art club that you used to go to, and that you'd all show up, every week. And through that, being in the same place at the same time, a bit like when we were talking earlier about work colleagues, being in the same place at the same time, that those relationships are easier to grow. So when we're out in the world with, I want to say, like, relative freedom. I mean, all three of us benefit from not working, 9 till 5 or 9 till 6, in a particular job. We have freedom, but also whether we need to, I want to use not the word safeguard, but make sure there's that time that we put in for friends, because if there's not these regular points of meeting, they could quite easily slip away.
You're very, very right. You've got to make sure that you think about the wider picture, because you can just carry on living life and then you think, oh God, I've not been in touch with that person for so long, and things like that.
And we know how time goes. You think, I haven't spoken to them for a couple of years, and then you think, oh, hold on, that's like 8 years or something like that. It is crazy. I'm aware we have talked for a long time about this.
No,
it's not like
when I thought about this subject, I thought, oh, this may be a quick one, 20 minutes and we're done. Lisa doesn't. I sent you a video message.
I'm joking.
That was in response to a video message you sent me. So
I'm joking, Lisa.
No.
I feel bad now.
No, don't feel bad. I'll just ring.
Next week, we'll do that. Lisa, she doesn't stop phoning. She's getting on my nerves now.
Well, to be honest, I only sent you the link for this chat 2 minutes before we started.
Do you worry sometimes that if you spend too much time with someone that friendship could be in danger of fizzling out? Is that just me?
I think, now, this may shock you, okay? I can be a little bit loud. And I think some people have like a Lisa quota. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it may be different for all people. So I definitely think that I could wear people down if I'm with them for too long. I mean, how Glenn has done it for 33 odd years, like, every single day. The man deserves a medal. But I think you're onto something there, Paul.
You just reminded me, Lisa, that I hope this friend isn't watching. We love her to bits, but she's very enthusiastic.
Yeah.
And we went on holiday to Spain, so she's going to know who it is now.
Yeah.
And we were driving all over the place for 4 hours, and sometimes she never shut up for the 4 hours. We're like, even a partner said, "Why don't you have a little sleep?"
Yeah. But I think that it's a valid point, Paul. It's it's a balance, isn't it? And how we fit in friends that and to make it worthwhile from everyone's perspective.
You don't want to feel like you're bugging people either, do you?
No.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I feel terrible sometimes. A friend of mine had messaged me a couple of times about meeting up, and I was like, yes, yeah, absolutely, and then they'd leave it a couple of weeks, mention it again. I was like, yeah, I'm on it, I'll get a date. And then in the end they were like, well, I'm going to leave it to you. I was like, oh man, I've handled that really badly.
Yeah,
it's difficult. I don't think Deb's just put, I've just seen it in the corner, maybe Glenn's deaf. And that is true, Deb. He is actually deaf. He's got hearing aids, but he doesn't wear them because he says he has no problem hearing my voice. So, yeah. Bless him. So, anyway, Leo is getting bored here. He's getting bored. So, I think let's call it quits for today. Thank you, everybody who has joined us in this conversation. We appreciate you all. So
and we see them as friends, don't we?
What's that?
Every week. We see them as friends, the people that join us every week. We see the same name.
The same names popping up. It's lovely.
Yeah. And hopefully we were just talking, weren't we? Before we came on about going to Crick. So if anyone is going to the Crick Boat Show, please come and say hello to us. You'll be able to hear me coming because I'll be the one with the fog on board. It would be great to see you. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Paul and Maxine, for sharing your thoughts and views on friendship. And if anyone's got any suggestions going forward about what we can talk about, we'd absolutely love to hear your ideas. So,
yeah. And thanks to Leo as well for joining in.
Yes, thanks, Leo. He's waiting for his hot chocolate now. He is. Like, enough now. Enough with the talking. Let's make the hot chocolate. So, see you all soon. Take care.
Bye everyone. Bye.
Bye.